but their actual hard engage start points is very limited.
It's real support, baby.
Look at the smile on his face. He's just going over them.
Yeah.
Oh,
it's support. We weren't far off.
This is actually really fun. This is something we saw Sven bring out a couple times in NA, has been played around the world a little bit. Very often it's Hail of Blades, and we might actually even see double Hail of Blades if they want to go hyper aggressive for the 2v2.
Yeah.
And you can get really in the face of your opponent. It becomes very, very difficult to actually take these trades in the early lanes. We had seen it more as an answer to some of the short-range ADs, though. This was picked into Kalista and things like that I have seen.
Yeah.
So it's interesting to see it actually picked into the Varus here, which is a little bit of a different one.
I mean, double AD carry is always going to give you the ability to trade aggressively in the early 2v2, right? And I imagine the DRX's intent is to be able to get that early push. They can look to try and do the same thing with the Azir in the mid lane as well. And then they'll leverage that early prior to either look for dives or maybe even mitigate what Scout can do on the LeBlanc. Because when I see EDG's draft, Lee Sin LeBlanc is a tried and true mid-jungle combo that is always very lethal and difficult to avoid in the early game.
Absolutely, but the Ashe, the Hawkshot, may help to deal with that a little bit if you can help to track that Lee Sin, allow your Azir to stay safe in the mid lane, and it's an additional engage option as well, right? You know, it is a lot of engage on the side of DRX. They should not have problems picking fights between Camille, Sejuani, Ashe, and even Azir there. That can be looking really, really good. And it is double Hail of Blades, as I kind of expected here. You know, generally, when you do go Ashe support, you really are all-inning on these early trades that you're going to try to take here.
And they got to win this one, and they got to win the next one. DRX backs against the wall, and they withheld the pressure, and they won in game 3. They've got to do it here. They've got to do it in 1 hour's time as well. EDG, the reigning world champions, narrowly lost in the LPL playoffs.
30 seconds until minions spawn.
And you can hear the fan support behind them. One of 2 remaining LPL teams, JDG waiting in the other semifinal. EDG hoping to step up to JieJie next weekend, seeing if they can keep that trophy in their own trophy case.
Oh, this is cute. I've never actually seen this with Kalista. So he held onto the black spear until they went into lane. BeryL dropped his ward, started his recall, and then he actually channeled the spear on him while he was going back to base. He was able to continue the recall and then had the little death animation once he landed in the base, in the well.
That is min-maxing to the extreme.
It is, but if you're going to rush down bot for that lane ward, you can't actually channel the black spear then go down. You'll be way too late. So that's a clever little optimization there from Deft and BeryL. I love stuff like that.
Very good spot there, Azir. Now you will see this early vision investment, wary of an early invade. It's going to be sweeped out by Scout, but also that deep ward on the on the red buff rather, coming out from EDG to identify where Pyosik has started. They see him not starting off on the red buff, which means that he's likely going to be on his blue, pathing up towards the top side of the map. We'll see what JieJie does with this information. Again, we talked about this mid-jungle. I love seeing Lee Sin's play through their LeBlanc lane because LeBlanc has so much powerful setup. Her ability to land the chains and the damage from Lee Sin LeBlanc is just so scary to deal with in the early game.
And meanwhile in this bot lane, you can actually see Meiko has the read. Like, this lane is not actually playable. He went Relic Shield as Renata. Normally you're like, yeah, I'll take the mana, I can fight back. It's like, no. I'm getting poked forever by Ashe. I'm just gonna last hit like 2 minions under the turret, like make sure the cannon doesn't get dropped. Like, we're gonna be getting a bit of gold here, and BeryL's gonna play. Pretty much at the limits. He knows there's no surprising engage tools yet. JieJie gets level 3 as he finishes out his left side of the map and goes for an invade path. I believe not spotted by the trinket. You see it hugs the left-hand wall. Trinket wards will not see over that one. So he is behind, and Zeka doesn't know. He needs to land the chains. Can he do so? Pyosik's around. Yep, there's the hop to a teammate. Sidesteps the slow, and Scout will stay alive.
Man, great read from Pyosik, just walking through mid. And he's not going to actually lose any time there because he walks through mid, and then if there's not any gank happening, you just queue over into the Raptor pit, no problem. So smart coverage, and they're getting a bit aggressive here. Will be a nice spear trade.
Chain lands, Q lands! Is enough to kill Zeka. He's for a bit of damage, but otherwise still going to live. A flash still forced, though.
I love seeing this level of investment in the mid lane. We already talked so much about Lee Sin LeBlanc, and I feel like this is what you have to do. At level 3, you have your chains, you have your dash, you have your Q, you have everything you need as LeBlanc to set up the kill for your Lee Sin, and they've already gotten the flash out from Zeka. This is going to alleviate a lot of pressure.
Mid-prio difference, though. Pyosik can't easily stick around. He's got top pressure, but if LeBlanc lands a chain, there's a lot of damage there.
Here's the thing, though. If Pyosik gets out, yes, you do lose the Scuttle, but this actually delays the recall from Scout a lot. And Zeka now canceled his own recall, so he actually picks up the farm here. He doesn't actually fall behind on tempo. It will be dangerous now as the wave is pushing away from him, but it's going to mean that Zeka will have a better base than he would have otherwise grabbed.
Looks like it's still on that 0 stack of his Corrupting Potion. Scout misses 0 XP and gold from the mid push, but you're right. Zeka able to get a better recall, certainly nice. Looks at the chain. Electrocute auto, chain gonna land. He can't go for any more. This time Zeka finally, I think, will be pushed out. He wants to split the freeze. We'll force the TP. Yeah,
I was just about to say, the wave is in a really good spot. It's slowly pushing towards Scout. Of course, both mid laners likely just going to TP back into the mid lane off the back of this, but overall, Scout's pretty happy with how the lane is going. Double Scuttle Crab as well for JieJie means them early game dominance in favor of EDG, but the early gold in favor of DRX.
Yeah, and he just has to be careful until he gets this shoved out. You know, really wants to reset this wave. Pyosik is not covering mid right now, is playing up towards top. But it does mean Zeka could be in trouble if Lee Sin makes another pass at mid lane here.
Flandre playing a bit safely. Has his own flash. He knows that, of course, Camille and Sejuani is plenty of crowd control. Hatching a ward. Don't know if he ever saw it go down. But now with the wave pushing away, needs his Lee Sin. But JieJie is on the other side of the map. Chain's going to lead it again. Good trade. I like this one. Jumps in, gets himself a shield. All right, good enough, I guess.
But the problem is, mid lane wave still not able to actually be reset. So he gets that trade, and then Scout pulls the wave down. So as the wave comes here, he just basically pulls it over to the side here and creates this freeze. So it's still not unlocked. And what was a slight advantage for Zeka and CS is going to really go Scout's way.
I love watching good mid laners play, and we're seeing a really great synergy between the mid and jungle here of EDG. JieJie investing the exact right amount of investment in the mid lane to set up Scout to just dominate the laning phase. Props to Zeka, he's still doing very well in the farm department. He's not getting zoned away by really anything, but both mid laners doing their absolute best to try and build up what advantages they can in the 1v1.
And the bot lane going pretty well here for DRX. You know, he will pick up the remaining farm here, and he's going to be up about 10, 11 now, right now. But we'll have to see how much they can get done with this Ashe, because Meiko and Viper have been playing it very far back. They have been really kind of just conceding a lot of the wave. I think feeling that they can't really scrap, they can't really trade autos at this point in the game, and I do agree with them. But that being said, the Renata is likely to have a lot more value in the later stages of the game, unless they can create what is a very big advantage, I think, in this 2v2.
We have Pyosik saying, yep, we got bot pressure. The wave is slow pushing down towards their turret. We have infinite control this one. You're not going to all-in us with a Vamp Scepter, so on he goes to the Drake and feels comfy. Even his mid laner got the first recall off, recalled in front of a cannon wave, able to inherit that one, dropping 1 or 2 CS. Now comes back in and has the mid push, so Mounted Drake picked up at 6:30. DRX, a lot of control here. Top laners haven't been back to base just yet, but both bot laners on Vamp Scepter. It'll withstand the poke. JieJie, best he could do is kind of jungle a 90 gold Raptor camp. Mountain Drake worth so much more.
DRX, firm control of the early game once again. And I'm impressed. Their bot lane, we knew that they would have the push, but really Deft has demonstrated that naturally the 2v2 matchups do help him, but he really has been able to get the better of Viper in a lot of these 2v2s. There was that exception in game 2 where BeryL was falling short, dying a couple times in the straight up 2v2 matchup, but other than that, Deft has had a phenomenal series along with Viper. And we get to see some masterclass AD carries going toe-to-toe at the highest level.
And I think when you talk about the ADs, when you're talking about lane, you also have to give credit to the supports, right? And I think a lot of the laning advantages from DRX have come through these creative picks that BeryL has been going for, right? The Heimer in game 1 especially was massive. The Ashe in this one really making a big difference as well. So a lot of the creativity here out of DRX that I think is giving them those edges in the 2v2. And then it's EDG who has been often on the back foot, trying to pull it back in the 5v5 later on.
The lost counter minion, everyone in the chat spamming -1 right now. Even though Flandre zoned him away from it, he lost the counter minion. You gotta do what you gotta do.
Yeah, got the XP, I think, but yeah, it's 69 gold or so missing, so
nice.
Nice job, I know. I mean, it's well done by Flandre, very, very skilled. Though that said, the CS lead once again goes Kingen's way. So outside of the Kennen Fiora game, Kingen has been up every single game in this top lane in CS, but this one far enough away. His jungler not his side of the map right now, still busy taking a red buff that takes a big L on farm, and it's going to be Flandre, catching all the way back up.
Yeah, he will be able to catch up, but the wave will actually group and push towards him, so Kingen can take that base timing. They're both going to TP back towards top. First base from both of them, so we'll get a lot more dangerous. Scout could be in some trouble now.
One more auto will be the stun to Scout's W, backs up. Actually has to burn R for it, save the cooldown. Flash away, it's going to be BeryL flashing out himself. Early burn on some cooldowns right now. Deft going to be the better of that trade, it looks like, but his support quite low. Now playing the top side, is it going to be enough? Does it look for the chains, look for the kill? Will they find Kingen? A big knock up there from Aatrox. Smite for health. First blood comes through to Kingen. Smite comes across the rest of it. Pyosik will drop though as well. Scout able to claim the actual eye himself. Zeka getting dropped. Doesn't have any cooldowns left. Flandre needs his Q back up, and he doesn't have it. Zeka gonna get away.
Nicely done escaping there, but it is the Herald going the way of Scout. He can push up mid, and he's going to be able to get solo gold on that when he so chooses. Bot lane, though, going very well for DRX. It does cost BeryL his flash, but they got 4 summoners from the enemy bot lane duo here. Just utilizing that faster level 6. Deft hits 6, and they immediately go for the play there. BeryL now has his ulti, and there's no cleanse on Viper. So if they could call down Pyosik, there's a good opportunity for a gank, and that's why JieJie is here and just
has to hit Ashe. Has no flash, has no cleanse, but Kalista no ult either. But if he had flash, he pulls a ruler. That man dies. Lee Sin ganks with it, but never in range. BeryL not able to be hit.
Very close play there, but the respect from the DRX bot lane remains firm. They will not concede any kills over to EDG in this early game. The gold now dead even. Incredible stuff from both these teams. I think DRX continue to defy expectations. On paper, coming into this series, you would expect EDG to be the clear favorites, and we're gonna have a look back into this fight, mainly as to why. Look at the initial play setup here. JieJie interrupts the stun. It looks like so much damage, but immediately the rest of DRX turn their attention onto JieJie and get that kill. Pyosik, though, gets forced very low on the back end of the fight, allowing Flandre to pick up that initial kill. And I'm wondering where the third Q comes in from. If we don't have time, Scout lands the root.
Yep, that's been forcing the cleanse out. There is ult lands. There is no way out for Ashe. You gotta believe this one's gonna be killed. Stuck against the wall. Pyosik can see it happen, but can't make the play. Scout comes in and secures the kill.
Yeah, they bring the extra man down, so despite the fact that Pyosik was in the area, nothing he can do about it here, as Scout is around as well. Scout's even gonna pick up a plate. He does have the empowered recall with the Herald. They will get one plate back in mid lane from Zeka. But we'll see if they can get anything more off of that.
Looks like they weren't even able to secure that bot lane fight, so a little unfortunate there for EDG. You'd imagine that they wanted to convert that into something like a Herald, maybe even secure that tower. But it's good to see EDG getting out on the map with this mid-jungle duo. It's really what you need to be doing with the LeBlanc and the Lee Sin. But Zeka doing the right thing of just pushing in mid and trading what he can.
It looks like the tempo was too important for that one. Health bar's a bit low. They need to get back into the base because the dragon comes up in 40 seconds. Sidestep. Just barely on the arrow. 2 ults missing. Scout saves everything. Well done by him.
Smooth, very smooth there from Scout. You could feel the cold wind nipping at him, but he was able to sidestep it beautifully. Now the dragon spawns in 20 seconds. EDG do have control over the mid wave, but it's DRX to have access to the river. Good awareness from JieJie there, and now EDG have made their way into the river, and Scout will use the Herald to generate this pressure in the mid lane, making it harder for DRX to come and contest.
Yep, and because it was on the mid laner, it's 320 gold right there to Scout. He also picked up the 200 for the kill, plus 100 local gold, so that's 600 gold he basically got just straight up from the Herald.
Nice stuff, but now Scout has to play for his own mid lane as it was so grouped up against the turret. He's got to get in there for that one. I want to see if Aatrox can join. He's got the Eclipse. He's got the first mythic of the game. That is a big power spike. Without TP, he would have to walk, and you can see he is going towards the top side of the map. So ahead or not, it doesn't matter. It's about the 4v4 on the bottom side. Chain will land, but Scout not getting the better of these trades right now.
Well played,
Zeka hits him back pretty well. Distortion not going to land. The ulti on cooldown, I mean, you can't get much more than that.
Yeah, there is no ultimate available for Pyosik, but BeryL is now
he
back.
wants all really slick. Zeka gets out in time to shuffle backwards. Had his own ulti, there's an overdrive. Ultimately not killed, but now another recall forced by the Scout.
And now, DRX could potentially just start this up because there is no TP on Scout, right? And they have the HP advantage here, so they should just start this up. They have the Kalista. This should be their dragon, so it should be a second one going the way of DRX. It is a 1k gold lead for EDG, but more than evened out by these 2 dragons going the way of DRX, and they are still the team that has all the engage options here.
Nicely picked up. Dragon on the board. The top scoreboard favors DRX. The bottom scoreboard is different. The nameplates are different, but as far as things earned in the early game, better for the red side right now. You want to see if Flandre can get himself the next plate. Not quite, though. A little bit of poke, though.
It's also worth noting that it's going to be Mandate Ashe, so he's not going for the lethality style build. Oh, nice try on the delay there from Kingen, but the timing was great from Flandre on the Q3. But the poke is definitely going to be annoying here. You go for the Mandate Ashe, you have the Ludens on the Azir that's going to be built towards. And that combo there, volley into the Q from the Azir, is going to be really difficult to deal with for some of these champions over on the EDG side.
They're getting lower and lower, but the plate's going to drop in about 30 seconds. It seems like the LeBlanc can get too much more done. Is first to loot, as he mentioned the gold getting fun out of him, but the problem is that all lined up after the Dragon went down. Didn't have Luton for the mid play, didn't have Luton for the attempt on Zeka's life. Drake was playing off the lane pressure. Arrow, oh, it still hits him. He distortions the wrong way, still gets tagged. JieJie lands himself a Sonic Wave. Resonating Strike will not follow.
If JieJie wasn't there, I think they maybe go in for it, but with the Lee Sin around, if you fly into the tower there, you're going down.
I'm telling you right now, everyone in this arena would have panicked, including me. I would have been hit by the arrow at least like 3 seconds ago. What crazy reactions there from Scout. We continue to see him dodge these arrows. We saw it in game 1. We're seeing it again here in game 4. The man showing the utmost respect and continues to prove why he is one of the best mid laners in the world. Scout on this LeBlanc, a lot of responsibility will fall on his shoulders to be that big poke threat later on into the game, find those picks onto Deft in particular. We'll see if he's able to do it, as EDG slowly but surely continue to build up a small lead. A number of plates went into Scout's back pocket. Does have the Ludens alongside Zeka, just picking that up for himself now. Looks like that EDG making their way towards the top side of the map. I don't think they can get anything onto Kingen though. They're just going to convert this into a Herald. Maybe they can use this to break down the mid tower. Really important Herald, because sieging against an Azir, very difficult to do.
That feels comfy, right? Ult, flash, cleanse, all available, so his lane mates can be safe on top of that one. 6,000 health on the Rift Herald, and here comes the pending team fight. Down to 4K. Pyosik wants it at the front line. There's the Eye gonna be hit again, and it's gonna be a smite. It's gonna be ult out of JieJie, and it just deletes the poor Lee Sin. Renata can't help that, but the re-engage looks good. Kingen quite low. No kill just yet. Zeka flies in, but everyone flashes back away. Re-engage. Ashe finds the knockup. Smite claims the Herald, and Zeka's killed off Meiko. Chasing in for Flandre. Next attack would kill, and they'll knock him down. DRX taking the lead here in game 4.
What a fight from DRX, 3 for 0, and the Herald goes their way. The reaction times on both sides were incredible as Zeka swoops in. EDG flashed immediately, multiple ways to get out of there, but it's escorting them into Kingen, into Pyosik, into Deft. We're creating the space. They get the initial first kill, and then watch the Azir as he swoops in here towards Meiko and Viper, but the reaction times are there.
I thought we were going to see another Showmaker play right there. I thought it was going to be a one-sided affair, but the response from EDG is incredible. Meiko, though, after losing his flash, finds himself in a very awkward position, as it felt like the DRX just had so much more space in the fight. Yeah. EDG was funneled into like one side of the river and this awkward choke point that they couldn't get through, whereas DRX had the entire river to play through. And Kingen, this man finding the right targets in the fight, coming up clutch on one of his big comfort picks and able to take apart EDG.
I mean, that is the power of drafting for engage. And now BeryL up towards top side. They're going to see if they can get an arrow here. He's trying to play in fog, seeing if he can find an angle on towards Scout. They would want him to use his ulti first, but JieJie now.
Information gained. Q's guesses incorrectly of where Ashe might be. I think might have actually seen the hawk shot over his head. Doesn't get it quite right.
Wonder if he was actually aiming for the Krugs there.
Yeah, looked like it.
EDG find themselves on the back foot once again. DRX have this tendency of finding these early game leads against EDG. They're not significant. Often they're only a couple hundred gold, maybe even 1,000 gold. And it's EDG finding ways to come back. But when we talk about team fights, you've been talking about it so much, Azale. It feels like DRX are the team that have so many good engages. Arrow sidestepped once again. But it doesn't matter. DRX have control over the mid wave. They have the Herald to create even more pressure. And this should give them access into the Vault River, but they're actually moving away from it. They are hesitant of what Scout can throw out. They will get good damage down on the mid tier 1.
Yeah, they're going to be able to get that. Zeka in some trouble now. We'll have to back it up. The Electrode at least doesn't proc, but he's chunked down to narrowly above half. Kingen, though, on the top lane is going to be able to take down that tier 1 tower, and that should be the first of the game, and it's going to be solo gold, so a lot of gold going into Kingen's pockets there. He's already ahead on this Camille, but EDG do have the inside track on the Dragon and would be able to potentially stop the snowball.
All right, going to burn down 10,000 health from this Drake, and honestly you can see no one's really sitting around to play for it. Kingen is still staying up there, so it's a guaranteed 5-on-4, and it means they know. You can see Scout sees him on the waves, says, okay, cool, I can go back to mid now as well. Dragon will be handed off. Now it's traded for an entire top lane outer turret and a lot on top lane tier 2, and Kingen is still hitting it.
Have to see exactly how much. Oh,
caught out, Rended. He wants to get a flash over the wall, but doesn't have it available. Deft pushed away enough, but Zeka might try. Doesn't have his own flash, but it could be enough. JieJie holding his own kick. And I can't believe Meiko lived.
That was really clever, though, from Deft. You know, gets the eyes on it, sees the desync recalls, gets over the wall. and it is another tower going their way. So yes, they lose the third dragon. They would have loved to be on Soul Point here, but instead they get 2 outer towers. They get a little bit of damage on the top lane tier 2 as well. So it's more gold in the pockets here for DRX, who have now opened up a 2,000 gold lead.
Wow, DRX continue to surprise the world after what was an incredibly mixed year from the organization. No one expected them to qualify for the World Championship. No one expected them to finish top of play-ins. No one expected them to finish top of their group. And now here they are pushing EDG once again.
Even just going here is winning in Game 5 both times. To go to semis, it'll be winning in Game 5 again for 3 in a row that their series would be to 5 games to make it this far. After Zeka hadn't won a best of 5 in his entire career up until it's time to qualify for Worlds. He's got 2 in a row, looking at his third if he can make it happen.
And he's having a great game on the Azir.
Yeah.
And if DRX can win with him on these control mages, that's when you have to really start getting pretty frightened. Because this was actually a draft. Oh, a scout. We'll have to pull back. This was a draft where both the Akali and the Sylas were banned out first phase by EDG. They're saying, all right, you can't play anything else, right? So if you throw down that gauntlet, and Zeka is able to answer, Zeka is able to bring out the Azir here and have an incredible game as he seems to be doing thus far. Then things get harder.
Uh-oh. That's a chunk on a BeryL. That is a very dead Ashe. Burns the arrow. Deft himself as summoners will get away. But a pretty big pick with Baron spawning in 10.
Scout is just ruthless. He continues to deal so much damage as he has done throughout this series. Kingen, wow, continues to do the same on the other side of the map, really winning out on the 1v1. This Camille has come online, and now she is a split push threat that Flandre cannot deal with.
Yeah, playing very respectful. You know, could have potentially gone for the all-in there, but with the abilities on cooldown, it would have just been the all damage into some auto attacks. And he wasn't sure that he would have enough damage in the tank to actually finish off Flandre, who had the ulti, who had his abilities ready. So instead, he just takes the tower, pushes him back, and continues to extend that gold lead, which is nearly 2,000 just between the top laners. And that is such a problem because Aatrox does not catch up in this sort of matchup. There is no playing for late. It is going to be down to Flandre's team fighting to try to find something and then cross that arrow.
Ooh, just sidesteps, happen to walk left. But guess what? King is either side. However, JieJie is around, and it's going to be a hook shot away to stay alive. 2 minutes into the next dragon spawn. DRX would find their third. EDG would get their second. They're really stacking, making EDG not a threat on that objective.
And I do like that BeryL's just taking some shots with this arrow, right? Because when you are going for this style of build, you get such heavy CDR. It's only a 50-second cooldown at this point, so about every 2 waves you could fire off an arrow. And as you do get later and later on the game, you're picking up more and more CDR with these standard builds through that mandate path. You can get it down to really, really low marks. So just keep firing it out. Look for those opportunities. That's very low cost.
It's great that you mentioned BeryL as well, because it's crazy to think that we actually have 2 world champion supports going up against each other, right? And it was actually Meiko that knocked BeryL out of that title last year in the full 5 games in the world final. EDG versus Damwon. BeryL obviously had a very mixed year overall alongside EDG, and both supports trying to prove themselves as world class once again. BeryL with his creativity, Meiko with his consistency. We'll see if DRX can force EDG into Game 5 as the poke continues to come out from EDG.
Theoretically could have kicked for that one, but probably was going to be a one-way trip with the Lee Sin, and certainly no guarantee Kalista dies. We tick down 1 minute into the next dragon spawns. EDG got the last one as DRX opted to cross-map instead. Got a turn and a half and a couple of waves for that play, and gold positive, though did lose some dragon pressure. We'll see what the play is next time. 40 seconds now, the timer.
And again, Pyosik going towards this Warmox. And I actually think it's so smart against a team that has no real engage, right? What they can look for is poke with Varus, with LeBlanc jumping forward, just trying to poke and prod. So Pyosik can just constantly be the one to face check, be the one to step forward, take this chunk of damage, but they're looking for the engage now.
And he saves the cleanse the whole time, knows he's safe with an Ashe arrow and is correct about it, so still has that for next time around. We're going to see Chains or a Berserk.
Ult for ult traded, but this is DRX controlling space. They've done such a great job of this throughout the series, just gaining control of EDG's quadrant of the jungle and mitigating and suffocating them from vision. Kingen is looking for the flank. He should be spotted on this ward. He will be. And EDG, do they react to it though? Kingen knows that he's been spotted. The dragon has now been started. EDG looking for a way into the fight.
7,000 health. When we get the ultis coming across, the poke's pretty solid. Flandre is into the front line. A little poke towards Zeka is going to be still okay. 4,000 health. Lee Sin can come in. When does the fight start? Dives on and looks for the kick. Into the wall. Not going to Pyosik. Smited by DRX, and he stays alive. On the other side, we've already seen the kill on Renata Glasc, but it's a 1-for-1, now 2, as Zeka safely fires to the back. Flandre pushed away. Scout could be the target. He is stunned, and BeryL shoots them from behind. Is it going to be enough, though, as they throw in the clone? Going to be able to stop that with his own passive, and Scout still on the way out. Should be able to survive this one. Turret will fire once, maybe twice. Over the wall comes Pyosik, but can't find his kill either.
Wow, DRX are out team fighting EDG, and they're doing it in convincing fashion. The TP now comes in from DRX.
A quick slow, needs one more auto, and he can find the stun, he will get it. Here's the rest, flash volley. It's a flash to safety. Viper chunked again.
Man, the slows are so oppressive from DRX. It took so long for EDG to be able to disengage from that fight with the non-stop volleys, with the Ashe arrow coming through, with all of these tools that they're utilizing. Some great micro with the clone, though, from Scout to actually block BeryL coming back in with that Kalista ultimate. Really smart stuff from him to stay alive and avoid complete disaster. But it is DRX on soul point now here, and Hextech soul to boot. It's going to be easy for them to apply that constant little poke and prod with damage.
Sees BeryL, no reinforcements though. Meiko is around, but not enough. Red spike for a bit, but now's the stun. He wardhouse and has nothing else left. He might try to find a kick. He is stunned, but tanky. Merc treads, Gore Drinker stays alive. Death Stance halfway there.
JieJie just looking for a pick. We almost saw one onto BeryL, and we'll get the heal out from him, but not going to result in much more. JieJie will be able to get to safety of the assistance of Meiko. DRX, they're the ones in control of Game 4. After we thought that mental would be broken after Game 2, they've come in and they've shown EDG a plethora of different styles and a confident draft here in Game 4. They're now looking for Scout.
No ult. W is going to be enough, though. He's going to be clearly out of range.
But DRX, looking really, really strong. And in this game, one of the key differences is not only they have an incredible Baron take with Kalista plus Azir, they can just bait and turn. And they have a real tank with Warmogs. Like, their Baron setup here is amazing. If you can deny the vision, Warmog Sejuani does not care about the damage that's going to be coming out from the Baron here. Zeka plus Deft can do the damage that you need. But Kingen.
Okay, the play throws Kingen. Ults to ignore it when he can, but kicks right back out. Hookshot gets a lot of space, but will it be enough? Other side of the map, of course, is 4 versus 3. Kingen buys what time he can, goes for the sweep, gets a slow, but they're going to find the rest of these. Wants to hook away, gets a shield, and a Zhonya's a stopwatch to buy some time. Baron is still low. He almost finds the kill, but look at the other side. The 4v3 looks good. Scout, it's his clone. It's Deft getting 25 gold, but it has stopped the Baron. Pyosik, low on health.
They're going to start this. Oh, they're going to choose to disengage.
JieJie's a bot lane.
Yeah,
they know they can't kill this.
I thought that JieJie might just make a beeline up towards the Baron, but he decided no. They will trade the TP in order to stop this Baron, and they will get a kill onto Kingen. But overall, not a significant change in the overall game state.
Yeah, it is just that one kill. One thing that can mean a lot for these team fights, though, is no stopwatch now for Kingen. He's very far from a GA, so that stopwatch critical in allowing Camille to try to just dive into the backline, one-shot someone like Viper with the ultimate. Now going to be a one-way trip if he does look for it. JieJie will be spotted, but should be fine. As you can see, Zeka not going to continue to chase. So it's just back towards the dragon stacking here, I think, for DRX. They've got to continue to set up vision in this area and look to get ready for that. It's going to be about a minute and a half, so complete as many items as possible. You can see most of the carries here have their 2 cores now.
Difficulty is on the EDG side. Tell me a champion who is known for team fighting on the EDG side. Lee Sin, if you really skill gap.
Aatrox.
Aatrox in exactly 2
Renata.
times ever. Like they're okay at it, but you look at here's Azir and the Camille sitting at the dive. It's Sejuani to frontline, and it's like, wow, it is so much easier to play DRX's side of the dragon stacking.
I agree. It's very, very difficult, So EDG is going to have to get some vision control here around this dragon to make sure that their opponents are coming into them. Because if you can be playing from fog, all of a sudden the LeBlanc, the Lee Sin, champions like this become way more threatening.
True. And also, Free, do you know why ADG are the reigning world champions?
Why?
Because they are very good at team fighting. And while on paper, their comp doesn't look the strongest, I'm always impressed with what these individuals are capable of. And it's one of those things where often you have to take the nameplates off, but with EDG, you have to keep them on because these are some of the most talented players in the world. And we'll see if they can get the better of DRX, because right now they're in firm control. They have a 2k gold lead. They're looking to push in mid. Zeka will throw up the tower.
Scout wants to find the poke. Of course, Deft has his own bit of lifesteal, though that wave's going to get cut by the Azir turret, so doesn't have access to it right now. Scout still wants to find his own bit of poke. 15 seconds to Drake. It would be soul for DRX. EDG, it's a consolation prize. It's slowing the game down for 5 more minutes. trying to find their way back in, though, but Zeka's Azir, still a heavy team fighter.
And it gets awkward because now Kingen can just go towards the tier 2 mid. EDG have got to decide. Do you just straight up go for the dragon? They will. They're going to leech it on spawn here, but here comes the arrow.
Just sidestepped. Meiko could have been dead.
Scout.
Out flash. Team fight coming soon. Pyosik could walk forward. It would be Dragon Soul if he claims it. Gonna jump in. 2k health. Trying to find the fight. Picked up at 11 HP by JieJie. In the backside is Azir rooted out of place and stuck away. They're all running. The Scout find his kill. He dives in and he shuts down the mid laner.
Scout will find the pick, and they're looking for more. Deft is on a sliver of HP.
A lot of damage to the backside. More and more poke coming across Flandre. Nearly dead. Just a death's dance, running him down. Over the wall they go. JieJie barely stays alive. Scout needs his ulti back in 10 seconds. WRQ would kill Deft. Flash in. There's the E, but it's not enough just yet. Ludens gets the kill. They get the other one. The bot lane is dead, and it might be time to look for BeryL.
And EDG prove once again why they are a phenomenal team fighting team. The positioning, the execution, everything comes together as they secure the dragon, and they will take down DRX in the fight.
Oh, Viper's left alone. And that was a fog guess, I'm pretty sure.
TP
Coming,
though.
but he's far away.
Another
Viper's come
TP.
back. It's a 2v2, but will it be enough? Zeka has everything. Can Scout make it happen? The first arrow misses. King goes in for the stun. Cleanse, but ult makes it happen. There's the shutdown. Oh! He still kills one, but a 2-for-1 in favor of DRX.
A critical kill back there from Scout, but what a great play from Kingen. Realizing that the recalls could be disjointed there, finds Viper, gets his summoners, and gets the kill off him. And now I think DRX should try to threaten the Baron potentially here. Will they actually have the confidence to go over for it? You have Kalista plus Smite plus Azir. JieJie does take the scuttle.
Wait.
His Smite's down for a long time,
what
though.
is the cooldown
He used it
on
to break
that?
the shot. It's like 40 seconds plus.
I mean,
Now, that's not a guaranteed information
45
known.
seconds.
They don't know though. They don't know that he doesn't have another charge of it.
They can't know for sure, but even still, though, EDG have no damage. There is no threat on this team. Renata, Lee, Aatrox are not going to win that fight. DRX know it, and they know off of heroics from Kingen. Heroics to dive into a fog of war brush, get a 2v1, they kill both carries and secure BeryL.
That is massive. One of the critical things there was the fact that Scout TP'd bot destroying that play, right? So even when he respawns, there's no way he can actually get back and try to contest at that Baron. So DRX make the right call here. They find the window to get the kills. They find the window to take the Baron. Okay, not gonna land.
Look at Zeka now, 2, 1, and 5, level 16. Very close to that third item. Let's have a look back at this fight where it starts. Oh, he sidestepped that? Wow. Viper able to get away with his life. Pyosik forced into the pit. Oh my word.
Smite to 11.
11 HP there.
HP.
And then you can see how much damage is being done. DRX, they're playing from behind the dragon wall, which means that their access to the backline of EDG is very limited. This makes it so much easier for EDG to focus down a single target at a time. And DRX, they feel still confident enough to go for this fight, so they end up kind of going back in one at a time, once again making it easy for EDG to pick them apart.
Absolutely, but BeryL, bought a lot of space here with the constant volley spam, slowing them down. And then Kingen, finding the window here as they were in that recall. Baron now taking, though, DRX on the push here. Going to be looking to see how much they can take down. They only have the one wave pushing right now, though. They're actually going to lose a tower in bot lane, so not getting much just yet with this Baron power play. They need to get mid lane working in their favor, and you can see Deft is pushing down towards that. They want to play in this top lane quadrant.
Nice try.
And try to bounce there.
Not going to get the arrow stun. Is going now towards Grievous Winds himself. Knows there's some healing in the opposing team's Viper. JieJie, Flandre, all doing a bit of that. So it is Ashe getting Grievous on the squad. Still going for volley poke around the wing. Looks for the engage. Oh! Gets the stun of the W snap back. And Scout is bailed out for just a second. A kickback of the tank might not be nearly enough. Rooted in place though. Viper does what he can and Ignite secures the kill. Pyosik has to flash to stay alive. It is a 2-for-1 though. It is a fight. Victory for DRX.
What an ult from Pyosik, though. Had the Mad Life read there with the Sejuani ult. Nails it onto Scout. They get multiple kills. Pyosik may be low, but not for long. He's going to heal right back up. Zeka nearly has his TP. He goes back to base, but it looks like they will be happy with just the tier 2 for now.
And DRX are very quick to balloon their goal lead off the back of this Baron. 4K is now the advantage that they find themselves with. And DRX, again, continue to surprise. A single play from Kingen was enough to get them this lead. And you can see here the read from Pyosik. Beautifully done. He predicts the return on the W, is able to shut down Scout. And then they do not have enough to get another kill in order to bring him back to life. JieJie also falls on the back end. Good ignite means that they're able to get at least one kill back for EDG, but the damage is done. DRX walk away the victors, and now they're on
Soul. Now, almost every smite has gone the way of JieJie. Is it going to happen now again? Pyosik at the front line, 3K health, dives in, claims the soul, but on the backside, Scout nearly picks off an AD carry, but the health bar is getting so low. Scout, that is his clone. The clone drops. The jungler, though, does as well. 1-0 DRX. BeryL still holding the front line, but not a big damage threat. I mean, 1-0 in a soul is plenty good enough. DRX happy with this fight already.
And DRX, they walk away with 5 members alive and the soul. They're even able to get the kill onto JieJie, so they feel confident enough to TP back in and look for the fight.
Zeka has ulti, no flash, but is it enough? Gets a slow, gets a whole hell of a lot done. Berserk buys some time, flash in for the Q. Viper and Scout combine for the shutdown. Pyosik barely lives. Scout needs the rest. Able to get away from the arrow. BeryL on cooldown now.
Oh, it's so close, back and forth there. Kingen not quite able to get the kill. The bailout would have been enough to save Viper very likely anyway, but he does force flash off both Viper and Meiko in that situation, so key summoners now will be missing. And we'll see if they can take advantage of that, but so much pressure at this point in the game on both sides.
You feel like that this is DRX's game to lose at this point, though. You can see a very close smite fight once again between the two junglers. Not quite enough damage. Looks like Lee Sin's smite wasn't even up for that exchange, allowing Pyosik to secure it. Then at the back of this fight, Scout doing what he can with his clone to bait, but JieJie got locked down with a single target CC, whereas EDG didn't quite have enough damage onto the backline of DRX to secure any trade kills. Kingen then sees a window here, saying we can actually commit to this fight, we're healthy enough, sidesteps the handshake from Meiko, Pyosik dies onto Scout, and then Kingen just overcommits to Zeka, can't get close enough to deal the damage.
Yeah, Kingen flashing forward there with the Q3, trying to get, oh my God, inside his model.
Yeah, the hitbox is like midway through the arrow on that one. Has been for like ever.
Yeah.
Maybe we'll change it one day, who knows.
Yeah, not quite able to land there, but geez, that was really close. That would have been Scout going down very likely as well. Even more CDR now picked up, and BeryL has hit rank 2 on the ulti. So the cooldown on the arrow now, 36 seconds. So he can fire that out basically every wave. Just continue fishing for this. He's going to have the hawkshot up quite often as well here, which is going to give them the information advantage. They do have soul in pocket, plus a 4,000 gold lead, so you can say it's about 8.
Yeah.
Or thereabouts.
Oh, bit of a slow. Pyosik going to be rooted in place. They catch JieJie. It's not going to be enough for the kill. The ward hops away, but Scout has nowhere to go. Knocked up by Ashe and shut down by Deft. Thank you very much for the double kill. Both soul lanes are down. Berserk going to mean a whole lot of nothing.
That is such a big pick. Scout, one of the biggest carries of EDG, is shut down, and DRX, they continue to turn heads. They continue to surprise the world as they're looking to bring the reigning world champions to Game 5.
And they're looking for the play at Baron. Zeka on the way back over, and DRX going to grow this gold lead farther and farther and farther ahead. You can see there is no chance to play for it. Your consolation prize is a red buff. The Kingen might allow you to kill. Meiko spots it with a ward. Arrow's going to go wide. He's on the way out. I don't think there's anybody to chase him down here.
I think for EDG now, your last hope has got to be a play for Elder. The great equalizer in League of Legends is that. Scout, though, in trouble here. The arrow connects onto JieJie. The stuns are there, but Scout just doesn't have his ulti up, doesn't have his W available, can't actually create enough space. They pull in BeryL, and BeryL holds the Kalista ult until after he uses the distortion to follow after him to ensure that he can't get away. It's just beautiful stuff from the DRX bot lane there.
And it's just a phenomenal punish from Pyosik, right? He's been doing this consistently onto the LeBlanc throughout the game.
And you can see the years fading away from the stress every time you go to the coach camp.
I mean, again, no one expected DRX to be this competitive at this year's World Championship. The 4th seed from the LCK, barely making it into the World Championship. Pushed down 0-2 in this series. Now on the brink of bringing us to Game 5. DRX have done what many did not expect. A team that is consistently underrated are turning heads here at this year's World Championship.
And look at BeryL trying to play in Poggy. We'll look for the arrow.
Not quite going to land on the target, but it's going to be up in 30 seconds from now, so get ready. That's going to find a different stun. The Freljord combo looking pretty decent there as Meiko's pushed away, and the bot lane inhibitor has been laid bare and will be slain. Double inhib down. Looking for the rest of it. Now top lane has no wave, but they can cut this one and get the push to happen. The TP back in for Zeka to make this push. One that ends the game, has to burn a stopwatch, stays alive with a JieJie low. Attack again by Kingen. Flandre stuck in place here as well. Bailout not going to be enough. They've killed off Scout. They've killed off Meiko. They'll kill off Viper. They'll kill off everybody. And this Nexus is not going to be saved. They're going to take game 4 and DRX bring us the silver screen.
Doubters be damned. DRX is here to compete. They will push us the distance. Reverse sweep now on the table. Both teams at match point here. And what a series. Back-to-back days. We have had such incredible series delivered to us.